Today we're going to be talking about why summarizing information is one of the most important skills that's going to help you to boost your English communication. So why is summarizing information so important? Well, one of the reasons is because we're summarizing all the time. If someone asks you, "Oh, how's your holiday?" you can't give them every single detail of that holiday. You need to capture some of the key points, the key elements, and then you're going to summarize that information and tell them. So you're going to say, "Yeah, it was so great. I had a good time." And then you're going to pick maybe 2 or 3 interesting highlights, depending on how fast or how quick that conversation is going to be. Or if it's a friend and you're going to be speaking for a longer time, of course, then you can reveal more information and say more interesting points. So you're going to have different types of summaries that you're going to give to different people based on the topic and based on the conversation. But the point is, if you can't summarize information, then you're really going to struggle when it comes to speaking with clarity, organizing your thoughts, and enhancing your vocabulary and the smoothness of the way that you communicate in English. Okay, so in this video today, I'm going to give you a few practical ways that you can summarize information, and I'm going to tell you why it's important and why it's valuable. Okay, so the first thing is about improving clarity. Okay, so your vocal clarity, your spoken clarity, all relates to the vocabulary that you use and the sentences that you form. So if you're not able to summarize things clearly, it means you might have some gaps in your vocabulary. So the words are not coming to your mind that help you to capture your point exactly. Do you sometimes feel like in English you can speak, you can use words, but you just are always relying on a simple way to express yourself? You're just relying on simple expression. Unfortunately, a lot of people feel like this, and one of the reasons is because of a lack of active vocabulary. So in that case, you need to spend more time developing your active vocabulary and developing confidence and emotional connection to some of these words that are just going to help you more accurately summarize information. So if I was you and you are thinking, okay, well, what information do I need to summarize? Well, think about what conversations you are having day to day. Think about where you want to feel more comfortable in your English language skills. If you are already comfortable with talking about holidays and travel, that's fine. So you should be moving more towards, maybe you want to be speaking more eloquently and more fluently about economic situations. Maybe you want to be talking more about how to discuss topics with colleagues. Maybe you feel like on video calls you're not able to summarize information very well. So when we summarize as well, it doesn't need to always be a conversation where you are asking me a question and then I'm responding. It could just be in how we give information. So, you know, if you are on a call with a customer or with a client, and you need to add some value to this call, you need to add some details. So how you actually give that information is going to be crucial, and it's going to be really important. So by doing some summary practice, it's going to really help you to relax and feel more confident on a call, and it's going to help you to really start to develop your communication skills, because you can actually start to organize the way that you speak in English, rather than it just being like an avalanche of words and you're kind of just like how do you navigate that in English? So we really need to focus on our ability to summarize. We need to do active practice, giving summaries, organizing our thoughts in a logical way that really helps us to develop. So one really useful way that I think is super valuable when you are summarizing information in English is to use a 4-step process. Okay, so first is giving background information, second is adding a detail, 3 is capturing the key point, and 4 is adding your own opinion and perspective. So this is just one of the logics that you can follow, but there are many different types of logics that you can follow when it comes to developing your ability to summarize information in English. So this may seem like a lot. So you might be thinking, okay, well, I don't typically need to speak for that long, and I don't need to add my opinion. I don't need to give background information. Okay, that's good. So that means that it needs to be more concise. But by being able to do it for a longer period of time, so then when it comes to that more concise information that you need to capture, it should be easier because you're speaking less, you're giving less sentences. But if you're used to providing more information, and maybe giving a little too much, that's good. And then you can just narrow that down. So if you have the ability to over explain something, that's good, because it means your vocabulary is good enough, you're able to speak a lot. But yeah, you can work on that and narrow that down and make sure you are speaking with more clarity and more purpose, rather than over explaining. So you need to be able to speak and follow a logical order. You need to be able to use active vocabulary to capture your key point. You also need to avoid mumbling your words. You need to speak with clarity. You need to open your mouth. You need to make sure that these sounds that you're producing in English are heard, and to make sure that your voice is heard in the meeting when you're speaking with people, so that they're actually listening and they're engaging with you. So a good way to test that as well is if you're speaking with a coach or if you're speaking with a teacher. So if you do want to practice your English development skills, you can head to VALLHO.com. That's VALLHO. So VALLHO is an international English coaching platform that helps business professionals develop their English skills so that they can start communicating better in the workplace. Okay, so one of the ways that you can do that is get some feedback on the way that you're speaking. You can also record yourself and do some video recordings, and then look at how you speak, look at how you communicate. Is it clear? But of course, it's really good to get feedback from someone who is a native speaker of that language, and that they can really give you some pointers and some tips in terms of, are you speaking with clarity? Are you mumbling? Are you over explaining? How do you follow and organize your logic and your thoughts in English? So all of these things are really important to consider. Okay, so the next thing is it helps to develop your active listening. Okay, so when you actually listen to information, whether it's from a podcast or from the radio, then you are able to actually capture those key points. So I introduced in another video active video participation, where you pause the video after 1 minute and then you actually try to summarize what that person has said, and you engage and join in the conversation. So if you want to check out that video, you can take a look at that. It's on my video list. So you can develop your active listening, and the better your listening is, normally you'll be able to summarize information more clearly, because you can just capture these things. Your mind is processing this information whilst you are listening. Okay, and the next thing is it's a way to practice organizing your thoughts. Okay, so it forces you to have structure and flow in your speech. Okay, so structure, super important. Flow, very important. They also go hand in hand. They are connected. If you have a good structure, you normally have a good flow. So the way that we really flow in English is by having an idea in mind about how we connect things. So we do start off with this first block, background detail. Okay, then we go on to this next block, capture the key point. Then we go into this next block, add your own opinion, and then the final block at the top is either restating your key point or just mentioning an additional detail, an additional interesting point to just finish your thought. Have you had it sometimes where you don't know how to end your trail of thought? You're speaking, you're trying to capture this point, and you're giving this information in English, and then you kind of get to the end and you're just okay, I'm done. If you're saying I'm done, it means that you haven't actually ended your trail of thought in a natural and interesting way in English. Okay, so when we follow a logical trail of thought, when we follow an organized thought pattern, it should be known that it's the end of what you're trying to say. Okay, so you kind of follow this bell curve of information. So if I'm going to summarize some information just quickly, let's take a news article that I read recently about being more active. Okay, so I'm going to give some background detail, I'm going to capture the key point, I'm going to add my own opinion, and then I'm going to restate my key point. So a lot of people forget to do this last bit, and then that means that they don't naturally finish their trail of thought. Okay, so being more active is super important. I was reading an article because I wanted to know more about this information. In the article, it said that if you are more active, then you can live longer, and it's going to prevent certain diseases, and you're just going to be happier because you're going to release more endorphins in your body if you exercise and if you're more active. It's better for your muscles, it's better for your bones, and it's better for your mind. In my opinion, I think that, if you are really someone who is active and you're someone who is able to, exercise, then you're going to live a lot longer. It's much better for you. I love to exercise a lot, and being active is a big part of my life. So I think that in general, if you do have time, you should exercise. And if you don't, maybe you should find out a way to exercise. This is going to help a lot more. boom, natural end. Okay, so I really want you to think about this when you're speaking and logically organizing your thoughts in English. You can use anything for practice to just try to help follow the structure. If you enjoyed this video today, guys, you can head to VALLHO.com. It's VALLHO. So VALLHO.com is an international English coaching platform that helps multinational employees develop their English communication skills and to connect with English in a new way so that they can start really developing their ability in English and that they can actually start to finally relax and start to connect and get more job opportunities in the workplace because they can rely on solid, strong, foundational English communication skills. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.